भगवतां नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवती अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते
There is a lot of noise at your end.
கேக்குதா? படிக்கும்போது கஷ்டமா இருக்கு.
Verse 8. Verse 8.
Yes.
Commit your buddhi and mind to me. Mayyeva mana adatva mayi buddhim nivesaya nivasishyasi mayyeva atavurdvam na samsayaha. Mayi, in me, eva, alone, mana, the mind, adatsva, may you place, mayi, into me, buddhim, the intellect, niveshaya, may you place, ataha, udvam, thereafter, mayi eva, in me alone, nivasishyasi, you will abide. Na samsayaha, there is no doubt. Let me alone, in me alone, may you place the mind. In me, may you place the intellect. Thereafter, there is no doubt that you will abide in me alone. Mayi eva, in me alone. This me, Shankara says, is Ishvara, as a cosmic form, Vishwarupa. May you commit your mind to me. Mayi eva mana adatsva. Both manaha and buddhi mean antakarana. So when they are used together, as they are here, each has a restricted meaning. Though both are antakarana vrittis, there is a difference based on the process of thinking involved. Manaha is fluctuating between certainty and uncertainty. Sankalpa Vikalpa Atmakam. Buddhi is the function that leads to a well-ascertained conclusion. Nishchayatmika. Both must be in me. Bhagavan says, why should he mention each separately?
Both must be in me. Bhagavan says.
Yes. Why should he mention each separately? When the mind is placed in Ishvara, is the buddhi alone also not necessarily placed there? It may not be so at all. You may not have the commitment that arises from a well-assimilated understanding of what you want. Purushartha Nishchaya. What is Ishvara? Why am I doing this? What is the phala that I am seeking? The ascertainment of all this is involved in the Nishchayatmika Buddhi. Then when you place your mind in Ishvara, it will stay there. Otherwise, when there is vagueness about the very pursuit and the nature of Ishvara, other interests are equally compelling and naturally the mind will stray. But if you have determined what you really want, your pursuit is directed and meaningful, which is why the value Tattva Jnanartha Darshana is pointed out in the next chapter.
Yeah, next chapter meaning in the 13th chapter, the value of values. I told no that amanitvam, adambitvam, ahimsa, one full set of, he calls it jnanam and tells what are all the qualifications you need for you to get into this study. And the last sentence in that is Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam. For it, Tattva Jnana Artha Darshanam, for it to happen, you must have a prepared mind. The prepared mind is only talking about. Only when you have a prepared mind, both the mind and the buddhi will be interested in staying with Ishvara. Otherwise, mind will read, whatever you read it will register. But since the buddhi does not have it has got vagueness, it will vacillate, it will look for other pursuits also. So you won't call it concentration, it is a question of interest and performance. Interest இருந்தால் தான் performance இருக்கும், performance இருந்தால் தான் interest இருக்கும், in anything for that matter. Here it is like both interest and performance will coincide only when you have the clarity and understanding. For that, you must have a prepared mind that this is what I want in life. So, this understanding only what I want my pursuit is, basic pursuit. So, accordingly, you will prepare your mind. Whatever walk of life you are, your mind will be prepared, which will be listed in the 13th chapter. When we are done with this first 6 chapters is Tvampadartha, next 6 chapters 12 is Tatpadartha. So that Tvam and Tat are clear. Now see how to make it happen in your life. The Asi part of it, when he starts, he says that mind should be fully prepared. Even though earlier it has been told in terms of Ashtanga Yoga and all that, there he again 13th chapter when Arjuna, as a reply to Arjuna's question, how to go about it, he says Jnanam. This is Jnanam because the book of physics gives you physics knowledge. The same way this Jnanam means the qualification gives you the Jnanam of Atma Jnanam or Brahma Jnanam, the Aikyam, whatever it is. So he lists it out as Jnanam, and in that the last Jnanam is Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam, Etad Jnanam Vidhi Proktam. That's how he completes. So that's what he is referring to here. So if you are determined to what you are really want, your pursuit is directed and meaningful, which is why the value Tattva Jnanartha Darshana is pointed out in the next chapter. He is just giving a prelude for that. Yeah.
Constant study of Vedanta Shastra, Adhyatma Jnana with Nityatva, is also a value mentioned there, but that alone is not enough. As a value, it can be very vague. Therefore, the study should be done keeping in view that the purpose is knowing the truth of oneself. Tattva Jnanartha Darshana. This is Purushartha Nishchaya.
There the value, the Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam, Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam will be mentioned. Meaning, Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam, meaning you study. But the study will be meaningful only when the pursuit is clear. What I want to do, Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam, I want clarity in my understanding about life. If that is the pursuit, then your study also will be meaningful. That's what he says. So, Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam, the study will be clear only when the Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam is clear. What is the purpose for which you are studying? What is your goal in life? What is your that understanding life in its totality is my goal. If that purpose is clear, Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam is clear. If that is the Purushartha Nischaya, then your Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam, that study of the Shastra also will be meaningful. That's what he is trying to say. Yeah.
It's gone somewhere, I don't know. What you are really seeking in life is moksha, which is the result of Tattva Jnana, knowledge of the truth. These two things have to be connected. It must be clear that what you want is freedom. And if you only understand that you want to be free, that alone is not adequate. In the search for freedom from pain, people resort to all kinds of things. What they do has nothing to do with what they really want, because the nature of moksha and the means for it is not very clear. So Bhagavan says, Tattva Jnanartha Darshana. For this, it must be clear that moksha is the nature of Atma, which is not separate from Ishvara Swarupa, the very Ishvara that appears in the form of this world. It cannot be a vague notion of a God who is located somewhere administering reward and punishment. This kind of Ishvara is replaced by Ishvara as Saguna Brahma. Therefore, may you commit both your mind and buddhi to Ishvara. This is one meaning. Or, continue further, or we can say,
or we can say, having chosen me, let your mind dwell upon me and your buddhi enter into me. Making the buddhi enter into Ishvara is done only through inquiry, vichara, and the inquiry must be proper. If you keep on asking, who am I, what answer will you get? Only what you already know about the person who is asking. The more you ask, the more apparent is your confusion. Atma is not going to reveal itself because it is already evident in the questioner. It is not for want of questioning that the essential nature of Atma is not revealed. The most that can happen through this kind of inquiry is an absorption, laya, of ahankara as in deep sleep or a moment of joy. It is purely a condition, not knowledge. To emerge from it knowing nothing more about yourself. The maximum you can get when you ask the question, who am I, is laya. How can there be jnana? If somebody coughs, the ahankara returns and the samadhi ends because the ahankara continues to exist in a subtle form. If, however, there is a total absence of identity with the ahankara because you know differently, there cannot be any coming back. In spite of the presence of ahankara, there is no real ahankara because of the self, Atma. Because the self, Atma, is free from ahankara, although ahankara is not free from the self. Then no problem is posed by the ahankara, that is jnana. How do you get it? Swami, can I explain this?
Yeah, understand. See, when a person is in meditation, if he is very much conscious of the fact of that I am doing meditation, I want to be myself. That very much, the ego is very much is the karta. The karta is doing the meditation. If he is going to be doing the meditation, any small sound or disturbance, he will feel disturbed. I am trying to do meditation, but I am getting disturbed. So, as long as, whereas you at the time of the seat of meditation, that is why you are supposed to sit in a very relaxed fashion, where you are not even self-conscious. In the sense, your body doesn't bother, your mind is not there. You have got a clear vishaya. Vishaya meaning the object of your meditation is the knowledge, the understanding which you have already gathered. It is not an empty mind. It is a mind with the understanding that I am Desakala Vastu Aparichinnam. I am the awareful being. I am Sat Chit Ananda. I am the being. I am the conscious being, consciousness, because of which the whole thing around me is conscious. The whole thing is appearing. A tree is appearing as tree. A man is appearing as man because of the conscious entity giving satta, that is the reality to all of them. So that reality is my nature. Even once a person transports oneself into that understanding, and that understanding becomes the object of meditation, you are not even obvious of your own body, mind or senses. I am so and so, I am doing meditation. Even that will not be there. Once you are in that, you are totally one with that understanding. If a noise comes from outside, it will become a noise is there. Even that is called, which I don't know whether I told last time. It is called drisya anuvida. Suppose a dog barks, and the reality which helps the dog to bark, the reality which helps me to identify that noise as dog barking, the faculty, the reality that gives my faculty the capability of the faculty, of hearing faculty, all that is what I am meditating on. So, the meditation, the subject matter of meditation, if it is thorough in your understanding, none of this will be a disturbance. Your ahankara is nowhere there to be seen. Ahankara is just by the side, like your mind and body, it is also kept aside. It has no role to play, because the understanding is the wholesome nature of your understanding is the being. That is why he says your meditation should be on after clear understanding, not just to keep yourself silent. My mind should not be disturbed. Then everything else, even a small noise, will become a disturbance. Immediately because you are very much aware that I am meditating. I am meditating means my meditation should be successful. So any small disturbance, immediately I will get up. Why are you people making noise and all that? So this is no way to do meditation. That is what he is trying to say. So the understanding, your antakarana should be totally, that's what he said, your buddhi and mind should be There should be an ekagrata, there should be a nischaya atmika buddhi. The atmas, the understanding should be nischayam. All these things are there, your meditation nobody can disturb. So, but of course, for the benefit of others, you don't want others to be disturbed, or you don't want them, they have some work with you. Unless you clearly make it a point that I am going to be sitting in meditation, they will unnecessarily disturb you. Because out of innocence also they may do it, even a son, daughter and all that. So, you make it clear to them that I am going to sit in meditation. But in meditation, you are not going to be disturbed by any noise that happens outside, because you are totally focused on being with your understanding of reality. So that is what he is trying to say. So your aham will not even play a part. The ahankara will not play a part. Once you get into meditation with that understanding, ahankara, body, mind, everything will be, you say bye-bye for the time being. So that is how it is. It will not be a disturb. Agama, ahankara will not be a disturbance, he says. If your pursuit is clear. That's what he is trying to say. Yeah.
Atma cannot be any more evident than it is now, and it is not opposed to ignorance of yourself either. Atma will not protest, as life is not opposed to what you read. Similarly, Atma Chaitanya is not opposed to what you think. If you think I am a monkey, it will illumine that thought as well as any other. If ignorance is there, consciousness is there. If ignorance is not there, consciousness will still be there. Only a vritti that occurs in the buddhi, revealing the nature of Atma, is opposed to self-ignorance. Atma Chaitanya, consciousness, which is the nature of Atma, is not opposed to ignorance. Therefore, simply asking who am I will not work here. You need an appropriate
meditation. What he is trying to say is that in meditation, no knowledge can happen. When you are sitting in meditation in a silent, what knowledge can happen? Your buddhi also, you are keeping it silent, right? At that time, knowledge cannot happen. That is why the question, who am I, asking question will not help. That's what he says. You must have an understanding that you are trying, when you are doing that go am I, if you have a fair amount of understanding, you are keeping all you are going inside. Since you are saying bye to your buddhi, saying bye to your ahankara, saying bye to your mind, saying bye to all other activities that have been happening, all your appointments, everything. Slowly get yourself back into yourself. So that is the idea of saying, asking who am I is you are within that. Like that. But for that to help you to meditate, you must have an understanding of what is this who am I. That in the meditation, if you ask who am I, you are not going to get the answer. The answer is already there. You have already done a study, you have done the shravanam, you have cleared your doubts. Now you are sitting in meditation. Now it may once you have got already, I am not who am I am not the buddhi, I am not the mind, I am not my body, I am not the ahankara, the ego, I am not the anxious person. All those things. Like they will say that I am not, and they get back to my reality. So that is how it is. It is not a question of asking who am I and getting the answer in meditation. There is no vichara in meditation. Vichara is separate. Inquiry is separate. Whereas meditation is meditation is on the meditator. Meditation is on the meditator, meaning you must have a clear understanding of what the meditator is, the swarupa, the self. For that, you must have already done the Shravanam, Mananam. Then Nididhyasanam will help. That's what he is trying to say. So, it's not it's not that knowledge is going to happen in meditation. That's what he is trying to say when Homai will not work. Yeah.
Here the problem is a non-recognized Atma and therefore mistaken Atma. To correct the mistake, you require a jnana of Atma, and to gain the jnana of Atma, you require a pramana. Perception and inference can reveal only anatma, not atma, as we have seen. Therefore, you seek the answer to the question, who am I, not within yourself but in the Shastra, which is the pramana. When you study Shastra, you commit yourself to Parameshwara. Mai buddhim nivesaya means may you inquire into Parameshwara. This is nothing but Vedanta Vichara, which reduces to an inquiry into sentences like Tattvamasi. The idea is to set your mind upon Saguna Brahma and live a life of Karma Yoga and commit your buddhi to Vichara of Ishvara. Then there is nothing that can stop you from knowing me. Thereafter, you shall live or abide in my alone. Ataha mai eva nivasyasi. Does the jiva
Nivasishyasi, yeah.
nivasyasi. Does the jiva, the devotee,
See, Nivasishyasi meaning Nivasi means we know. Nivasi means Vasikar, being. Nivas we call, no? Nivas and all that. So Nivasishyasi means staying in me, abiding in me, abiding mind. We say, no, that's what it is. Nivasishyasi. Yeah.
if that is so, he will still be separate. Therefore, Sankara says, you shall enter into me in the form of myself. There is no longer an Ishvara's Atma and Jiva's Atma. Only one limitless Jiva, self. As the Jiva resolves its notion about itself, that is entry into Ishvara. This is a result of meditation supported by inquiry and the life of Karma Yoga. Therefore, there is no doubt. Thereafter, there is no doubt. Ataha urdhvam na samshaya. That you will enter into me. Thereafter can be after this knowledge or after death. There will be no longer be any doubt because there is no jiva, only Ishvara. Even after death, you are not born again. Na punaravartate. We can put it in another way. While living, if you are with me, then who dies? Unless Ishvara dies, you cannot die because you are Ishvara. Ishvara is Nitya, so there is no possibility of death for you.
Yeah, that's what he has told in the first verse itself. Asochan anusocastvam pragyam vadamscha bhasase gatasun agatasun nanu sochanti panditaha. There, gatasun, agatasun can be taken by whatever is gone. So everyone will be born, everyone is born, everyone will be gone. Or neither born nor gone. So here he is giving the second meaning. We are neither born nor gone. So where is the question? When you are not born, where is the question of you are dying? Like even Ishvara. That's what he says. Yeah.
Once the subject matter has been taught, it is very clear what you should do. It is so clear that there is no reason for doubt. Yet it is necessary to say, na samshayaha, because Arjuna asks a question here. It means he has doubts. Therefore, Bhagavan says, if you live like this, you shall enter into me. There is no doubt about that. Arjuna wanted to know who are better in the sense of being nearer to moksha. Those who pursue Nirguna Brahma or those who follow a life of Karma Yoga with meditation upon Saguna Brahma. Krishna answered that these Karma Yogis meditating upon Parameswara as the Vishwarupa are nearer to the Lord. They are Yoga Vittamas. He did not want to talk about those who pursue Nirguna Brahma because they are not available for comparison. They are jnanis, for they have all the requisite qualifications that are gathered only by Karma Yoga.
Yeah, in a sense, as we have discussed this before also, a person who is doing a PhD should not compare himself with a person between the 10th standard and 12th standard who is better and all that. It's all a different, people are in different stages in life, different stages in inquiry and all that. Should not try to compare. That's what he's succinctly trying to tell Arjuna. Don't try to compare who is better. What you need to do, how you need to live, how you need to know, that you concentrate upon. Don't ask that how jnanis will be, who are better off and all that. See, once you know the subject matter thoroughly, then you can get into that situation. As of now, you don't compare yourself with jnanis or you don't even ask, which he has told also in the second chapter itself. Sthita prajna ka bhasha he asked. He said, you cannot identify. A person who is in the night cannot ask about a person who is in daylight. So, we don't ask that. Now again, succinctly he has told, don't try to compare with the jnanis. You talk about karma yogis and upasana yogis. Upasana yogis, meditating people. Some people will be meditating just doing japa. Some people will understand And some people who have understood, has a vague understanding, will still you would like to do some meditation. All those people can be compared because their level of understanding may be less or more depending on that. Their meditation will be successful. Their yogatvam will be better. That's what he's trying to say. Yeah.
Addressing the Karma Yogis, he said, let your mind be set upon me. Let the buddhi have a commitment backed by understanding, nishchaya, about me. In this way, if you contemplate upon Parameshwara, you have the right antakarana, and thereby you will remain one with me, meaning you will discover the oneness that exists between you and Ishvara. A devotee is a karma yogi for the sake of antakarana suddhi, required to gain knowledge. He wants to quicken the process by meditating upon Ishvara, but he is not able to do so.
Yeah, exactly. The problem is people sit up on meditation with by meditating I will be we have got already an experience. In sleep we are one with Ishvara. So let me also be meditate like sleep. Let me just keep away all thoughts. In sleep also all thoughts are not there. So I am one with Ishvara. That much of understanding I have got. In sleep I am one with Ishvara. I am not disturbed by Antakarana and all. So in waking also I will try to do the meditation, keep the thoughts away. But it doesn't work out that way because your mind is not capable of staying with that Ishvara Bhava because of various lack of all those qualifications like Vairagam will not be there, Vivekam will not be there, clarity and understanding will not be there. So you will get disturbed. Even the slightest disturbance will get you away from it, and then you will condemn yourself. See, I am not even able to meditate upon myself and all that. So all those things will come in. Don't get into all those guilt and hurt complexes. You understand thoroughly, get to do more and more Shravanam, Mananam, make your understanding very clear, then automatically you will love to stay with yourself. You will not be disturbed even if somebody tries to disturb you because you will love yourself, because your understanding about yourself is very clear. So that's what he's trying to say. Yeah.
When the Lord said, you can get your mind into the object of meditation if you follow the steps below.
Verse 9. Seek to reach me through the practice of yoga. Atat chittam samadhatum ashaknoshi mayi sthiram abhyasa yogena tato mamichaptum dhananjaya. Ata, then, mahi, in me, chittam, your mind, sthiram, steadily, samadhatum, to absorb, na shaknoshi. If you are not able, tataha, then, abhyasa yogena, through the practice of yoga, mam aptum, to reach me, icha, may you seek, Dhananjaya, Arjuna. If you are not able to absorb your mind steadily in me, Dhananjaya, then through the practice of yoga, may you seek to reach me. Mahi in Parameshwara, the Lord as Saguna Brahma. If it is not possible for you to place your mind in me steadily for a length of time, which is called dhyana, meditation, what should you do? Then may you desire to reach me through Abhyasa Yoga, the practice of yoga. Abhyasa means doing the same thing again and again, punaha punaha, not mechanically but with an alertness. Any skill depends entirely on Abhyasa. Whether you want to drive a car or pilot a plane, you require hours of proper practice. It is the same here. The mind is not able to remain with the chosen object of meditation because of lack of Abhyasa. We have not learned how to keep it there. All our lives we have been wool gathering. Unless we forced it to, the mind does not stay focused on anything. And in meditation, nobody forces us. Although we have acquired many other skills, if asked to sit quietly for a few minutes, we cannot manage it. We get restless. This is the problem of a human mind. Yet, when it is compelled to do something, it will. When we understand a newspaper article, it is because of our mind finds the topic compelling and remains there for a length of time. If we open a thriller, we can read it from cover to cover, even sacrificing our sleep. Our attention is drawn and the mind does not stray. But when we choose an object of meditation, we find our mind wanders everywhere. The Lord considers the case when na shaknoshi, if you are not able, mayi chittam samadhatum, to absorb your mind in me. If you can commit your mind to a given object and without effort are able to dwell upon it, that is chitta samadhana. If that is not possible, undertake yoga abhyasa. Yoga here means Ashtanga yoga. Because a karma yogi is being discussed, we know that he already has yama and niyama. All he has to do is asana, pranayama, pratyahara and dharana to gain the capacity to contemplate dhyana siddhi. In order for this to happen, he follows prescribed steps. Asana means
we have discussed in the 4th chapter itself, Ashtanga Yoga, briefly. Now he is telling, fortunately, he is telling himself here only. Yeah, I can read that.
Asana means any of the postures in which you can sit and meditate. The capacity to sit for a length of time, asana siddhi, can be acquired through practice. Pranayama is discipline.
Asana siddhi means very simple. Asana siddhi means when you sit for the period of meditation, your body should not disturb you. You should not call your attention. Then your meditation will be disturbed. So you must sit in a posture wherein your body will not call your attention for that time period. That is called asana siddhi. First, your sitting posture, there should be siddhi karma. Yeah.
Pranayama is discipline with reference to breathing. You deliberately inhale and exhale in given proportions and retain the inhalation or refrain from it for given lengths of time.
Yeah, there again, no, it helps. Pranayama helps in terms of your focus. Instead of focusing on various thoughts and all that, you'll be focusing on your breath. Like what they say in pranayama, whatever time it takes, when you take a deep breath, roughly you will be able to calculate what time it takes. You must hold the breath, the inhaled breath for 4 times suppose it takes 30 seconds. Then you must be able to hold it for 2 minutes. 30 seconds itself will be very high. 15 seconds it will take for you to take a deep breath. And then to 4. So 1 minute you must hold the breath. Then when you release it, you must release it slowly. Instead of 15 seconds, you should release it in 30 seconds. And then remain released for another 30 seconds. Then again start. By doing this, the mind will be focused on the inhaling breath and the exhaling breath. Naturally, automatically, your mind will not get diverted to anything else other than breathing. And in breathing, there is no thought involved, there is no action involved other than just breathing. So, automatically the mind gets focused. So, pranayama helps you to focus your mind. That is another abhyasa. Like even your sitting posture. Second abhyasa is pranayama. Like this, one by one he is explaining. So that how to get your mind to focus in the place of meditation, in the time of meditation. Yeah.
Pratyahara is withdrawing the mind from the external world of objects, and it does not automatically happen unless you have consciously cultivated the discipline of absence of greed. You should know how to avoid grabbing and also how to get rid of useless things. First, you need to clean the junk out of your own room. You find this difficult because you always think it's going to be useful later. It has been there for 10 years and has been of no use whatever, but still you cannot get rid of it. The practice of pratyahara starts here. Similarly, you should have a mind that is relatively free of conflicts. Only then pratyahara can take place. Dharana is the practice of concentration. This has to begin with things you love. If you concentrate on what you like to dwell upon, you will find it is not difficult. All these steps called Abhyasa Yoga lead to Dhyana meditation. You follow these disciplines to help you gain the capacity to meditate, and you also meditate and study the Shastra. Being a participant in the creation, naturally you find yourself in situations that warrant certain actions. The action called for is duty, being in conformity with the moral order, dharma. Looking upon this dharma as a form of Ishvara is Karma Yoga. Shankara gives us the definition of Abhyasa Yoga again and again bringing the mind back from everything else to one object of meditation. Swamiji, this action called for is duty, being in conformity with the moral order dharma. Looking upon this dharma as a form of Ishvara is karma yoga. So that means when you meditate, you think of
no. What he says is, see, for you to be able to gain the capacity of meditation, there should not be conflict of dharma in your way of life living.
okay.
That generally in your way of living, you are always contradicting what you think you are is right in the current situation. You don't do it because of your own other interests. You do not fulfill your duty or do not you harm others. If that sort of a conflict is there in your mind space, then you will not be able to sit in meditation. Even though you want to be meditative, there should not be there should be a dharmic life. What he is trying to say is that your overall life, style of living also should be dharmic. Then only the karma yoga, actually Shastra does not talk much about karma yoga, dharma, while talking about karma yoga, because you are a dharmic person is a given, even before you come to study you are looking for karma yoga. Karma yoga is for a person who is already dharmic, because he has got a commitment to dharma. But it says, karma yoga tells, even if there are some adverse circumstances, still you stick to dharma. So that is what, in the sense, it gives you a priority to your dharmic life. So that is why the moral order you must already be in conformity with. Then only you will be able to sit on meditation. Like it is karma yoga is not what you call, anyone and everyone can do karma yoga. That is why even before long back he has told, karma yoga is possible only for a person who is dharmic, number one. Number two, he wants to have a higher understanding of life. Mumukshutvam should be there. Only a mumukshutvam, a person who wants freedom. Freedom means what? Freedom from being limited. Not like freedom to do anything and everything and get away with it. No. Freedom to be a happy person irrespective of whatever is happening around. For that, there should be a value for that freedom. That is what I am. That's what Shastra starts beginning. That self and all self. Those things, if a fair amount of understanding should be there. There should be a mumukshutvam, meaning that sort of an understanding I want to consolidate. That is how I come into karma yoga itself. So that is why what he says, these things should be, it's all a given. Being a dharmic person conforming with the moral dharma is a given for a person who wants to sit in meditation or be a karma yogi or being meditative and all that. So that he is just reiterating that. Calling back from that Ashtanga yoga. One of the yama niyama means what? Dharmic person. Yama means having control. Niyama means you understand the overall dharmic order. Both are already given. Yama niyama is part of your life. Then only you can be a meditative person, and then only you can even aspire to be a karma yogi. That's what he is trying to say. Yeah, it is not that once you come into meditation, then you will become a dharmic person. No, it is always the other way. You are already a dharmic person. So you want to come to meditation. For that karma yoga is prescribed. All these steps are prescribed. So it is not these things. Even though it is mentioning that, it is only reminding us. It's all already discussed before, much before. Before coming to this meditation, this 12th chapter where we are trying to, what he says is bhakti yoga is not like suddenly discovered bhakti or something. It is among all the possibilities, you have chosen this possibility of being with oneself as my object of meditation. That is what he is. So he says, Swami himself says, it is you brings him clarities in all the vikalpas. Actually, it is called vikalpa yoga rather than bhakti yoga. He says that this chapter should be called vikalpa yoga, where there are a number of possibilities in life, but you have chosen this is what is my pursuit in life. That vikalpam is consolidated. That is why it is. That is what is prescribed. All these things have to be there for you to have a meditation. not as a technique, like people have, I will watch my breath, I will watch my mind, like that, I will take an object, I will put up an object in front, I will keep on looking at it. Those are all called meditation techniques. That is not being talked about. The meditation that we are talking about is to stay with oneself for a given length of time. And that self, you should have already have a fair amount of understanding by the study of Shastra. So even by our study of Shastra, we have got a fair amount of understanding, and you've got an interest, and you want to stay with it. There you have gotten a certain abhyasa, certain practice is needed, and for that your mind should be ready. For that, you should already be a dharmic person, you must be following the moral order, and then if you do that, then you have got a karma yoga buddhi, meaning whatever I do, I am doing unto Ishvara. Whatever result that comes, I am willing to accept it in total earnestness, total surrender. So those things, qualifications are already there with me. Only that sort of a person can sit in meditation without getting disturbed. That abhyasa is possible only when you are already a karma yogi. That's what he's trying to say. So all those things, it's all connected. There's nothing in isolation is going to work. Yeah.
Actually, the previous verse, he says, Ishvara is Dharma. We just said.
Dharma is Ishvara. There's no. Actually, Dharma and Karma, Ishvara, in the light of Bhagavad Gita are one and the same. Because the Dharma is what? Laws of all the orders. All the orders are emanating only from Ishvara. Meaning what? It's not a person saying that this is what right, that is not. It's not a commandment. It is the what you call like an expression of what is natural to any being. Like every being does not want to be disturbed by other beings. The other beings do not want to get disturbed by you. Everyone, that is called the basic order, that ahimsa, do unto others as you would like others to do unto me. When you look at all the qualifications of dharma, it's all around this simple fact. This fact is, it is available only for human being. No other species has got this dharma. Every other species knows what is good for it. But it doesn't think the other animal also is looking for it. It will take safeguard itself. 50% of dharma even animals have. Whereas we have 100% of dharma. In the sense, all of us know without going to school that do unto others as you would like others to do unto me. What I expect from others, I expect, like the famous example is, even a thief does not want to get robbed. So problem is there he has got 50% value. He doesn't want to get hurt, but he will hurt. So that doesn't work. You are essentially, for a person to come to study of Gita or sit in meditation, you must be understanding of Dharma should be 100%. Okay, because of various habitually you are given to lie, small lies, doesn't matter, nobody has seen me, doesn't matter. This sort of a chapakatti and all we have in life. Okay, but slowly you have to get out of those things. And you must essentially be a dharmic person. That is what he is mentioning. When he says being in conformity with the oral order is a prerequisite for you be able to sit in meditation without getting disturbed. That is possible only. You can't live. Swamiji always, you will do meditation in the morning and you will go and paint the town red in the evening. It doesn't work. As simple as that. It is essentially
he compares this to a scientist, though, Swamiji. He read that how a scientist, when he gets a problem, he keeps only thinking of what.
That is again you can say it is a concentration. There again, that is only what you call. With reference to that subject matter, he has got interest and performance, so he is able to concentrate.
Like that, we should think of Dharma as Ishvara. We should keep. It should be with us.
This is much more holistic than that. There again, a scientist will be even he may not be spending time with the family. Whatever he is supposed to do, he may not do, but he may be concentrating on science. That is a bit of a protracted concentration. That concentration we are not talking about. We are talking about the wholesomeness of life. In this particular case, when it comes to Shastra study and Nididhyasana and all that, it is wholesomeness, complete understanding of life is what is being talked about. So in that there should be a relative value for this understanding of life. That it means you must have a value for dharma, dharmic living, a wholesome understanding of life. All those things have to be in place. And then only you will get into karma yoga and meditation and all that. That is what he is trying to say. So that people do not miss out other areas like just abhyasa is not going to help. Just practice, sit tight and practice. No. Your overall life should be in conformity with dharma. What you are supposed to do, all your duty, karma yoga, do unto others as you would like others to do unto you. Yoga karma kaushalam. All those things we have been discussed. Now we are in the 12th chapter. The Ishvara, the world and the Tampadartha, all your values are all already discussed. Now we are coming to that. When you are now sitting in meditation, all these things apply. All conditions apply. So we have to get into all that and then only sit in meditation. That's what he is trying to say.
Shankara gives us the definition of Abhyasa Yoga, again and again bringing the mind back from everything else to one object of meditation. Why does he say again and again, punah punaha? Because the mind will stray. The definition of meditation is repeatedly bringing the mind to the object of meditation. You cannot complain that the mind wanders in meditation because that is what makes it meditation, dhyana. If the mind remains absorbed, it is called samadhi. In meditation, the mind will wander and whenever it does, you bring it back to the chosen object. If it drifts away again, bring it back again. This is abhyasa. Asana, pranayama, pratyahara and dharana can be considered constituents of dhyana. Therefore, Krishna says, seek to reach me through the practice of yoga, Arjuna, ata abhyasa yogena mamaptum itta.
Mamaptum icha. Icha meaning your focus. Icha means desire, meaning to be with one with Ishvara is actually you cannot even call it a icha. It is a reality understanding. But here he puts it as focus, have a commitment. Icha means commitment. Have a commitment to be one with Ishvara in meditation. Then automatically whenever there is a disturbance, bring it back because you already have a value for it. You already have a value for it. Because of whatever reason if it goes out, bring it back. After all, manas is basically a recorder. There is a manas means there is a chittam, there is memory, there is ego. All those things are part of the manaha overall. Buddhi is there. Buddhi may be interested in something else. Some timing will be there. So all those things, keep it aside and bring it back to the object of meditation. That's what he's trying to say.
Sean, do you want to read?
First 10. Even doing action for my sake, you will gain success. Abhyasepya samartosi matkarma paramo bhava madartam api karmani kurvan siddhim avapsyasi kurvan siddhim avapsyasi
kurvan siddhyam
kurvan siddhim avapsyasi. Abhyase api, even for the practice of this yoga, asamartha asi chet.
Samartha asi.
Asamartha asi.
Capability. Asamartha means
Asamartha.
Asamartha asi chet. If you do not have the capacity, matkarma paramaha, one for whom action dedicated to me is paramount, Baba, may you become api, even karmani kurvan, doing actions, madartam, for my sake, siddhim, success, avapsyasi, you will gain.
Kurvan meaning present continuous tense in English. Kurvan means gerund, doing. Like that.
Doing actions, madartam, for my sake, siddhim, success, avapsyasi, you will gain. If you do not have the capacity for the practice of this yoga, either may you become one for whom action dedicated to me is paramount, even doing actions for my sake, you will gain success. Suppose even this is not possible, to sit and do anything is almost impossible, then set aside this meditation on Saguna Brahma and do your daily prayers and duties, dedicating them to me. Dedication is nothing but conformity with Dharma, looking upon it as Ishvara. Later in the 18th chapter, he tells us, Yata Pravektar Yataha.
Famous verse. Yata Pravritti Bhutanam Yena Sarvam Idam Satam Karmana Tam Abhyachya Siddhim Vindati Manavaha. There it doesn't talk about meditation. He says, Ellam Bhagavan Chendadu, and whatever I do, I am doing it for Ishvara's sake. Like that, you keep on doing whatever your duties are, putting your mind totally on as if you are doing archana for me. Then you will get a mind, siddhim, meaning there he says you will get a mind which is ready for meditation. If you cannot do meditate right now, you do your duties and all properly, Ishvaratma Buddhya, Prasada Buddhya, and keep doing that, then you will get a mind as a archana, like you will live your life as an archana, Ishvara Aradhana, you live like that, then you will siddhim, you will get a mind which is ready for meditation. This is all the options, that is why it's called Vikalpa Yoga. All possibilities, all options are given. How to get to this level of understanding, this level of mental disposition wherein you are able to sit in meditation, where you are able, then automatically it will come. If you cannot do this, do this. If you cannot do this, do this. If you cannot do this, you do this. Okay, finally Bhagavan will say, okay, if you cannot do all the usual Arpana Buddhi also you cannot do, then he says, better accept whatever that comes as a result. At least that much of thing you must be able to do. Okay, do whatever you want to have, a lot of ambition and all that, try to go for it. But when it comes back, it doesn't happen the way in which you want. At least you have the mind. It's called Tumba Vittu Vala Pudikkirathu. Like what they say, no? In cow, bull fight and all, they cannot hold up the horn, you hold at least the tail. So likewise, if you cannot do karma as Ishvara Arpana, at least when the result comes, you accept it as prasada. So all those options are given. Somehow, even Swamiji in his comments used to say, these are all not meant for us. It's all very, suboptimal solutions in life. Swami used to say that. But Shastra itself gives that sort of options. Can't help it. They have to, as Shastrakara, they have to tell this. Like even in every Upanishad, it says, yo yam yam. Nee eppudipudila enna Bhagavana vendrayo, appudipudila unakku aashirvadam vendu. So that again is subtopic. Why should I all the time be worshipping Bhagavan as Anyam? I want Bhagavan as me, right? That is what is my understanding. So you have to go for it. But Shastra, because people are not the same. See, people are different walks of life, different capabilities are there. So because of that, all options are given. Here also, it's a Vikalpa Yoga in the sense. It gives the various options. So we go through that, but we have to be careful about, we should not settle for anything less. That's what he will say finally. I will also read it out later. Yeah. I'll send a 12th chapter, one sort of small brief, where Swamiji will finally say, these are all suboptimal solutions. And that also I will send it to you.
Tam Abhyarchya, worshipping that Lord, Yataha Pravritti Bhutanam, from whom all elements and beings have come, Yena Sarvam Idam Tatam, by whom all this is sustained, Swakarmana, by his own duty, Siddham Vindati Manavaha, a mind finds success. The entire creation Jagat is non-separate from Ishvara. With this awareness, Sakarmana Abhyarchya, worshipping with one's own karma, meaning doing what is called for at any given time and in any particular situation. A particular act of worship is not what is meant here, but the awareness of Ishvara as Dharma and conformity to it. By this he says, Siddhim Vindati Manavaha, a person gains success. Success here is Antakarana Shuddhi, a prepared mind through which one can gain knowledge. The real success is moksha. If you cannot meditate, do not condemn yourself. As long as you continue doing what you are doing as a karma yogi, that is enough. You will gain everything. If it is not possible to look upon Dharma as Ishvara, in the following verse, the Lord offers another alternative. Perform all your actions, fulfilling your likes and dislikes in conformity with Dharma. When the result comes, offer it to me and then take it. That's what I was practice in India. Even though people may not know what is behind it, they do it. After cooking food, they first offer it to the Lord and then eat. If they build a house, they first offer it to Him and then enter it. Anything new is offered to the Lord. A newborn child is offered to the Lord and therefore becomes prasada, what comes from the Lord. This is something anybody can do. These alternatives are not really very different from one another. The emphasis is just shifted. One thing is clear enough. If a person lives a life of karma yoga, along with meditation upon Ishvara as Sadhana Brahma, he is Yoga Vittama, the best in the sense of nearest to moksha. If it is not possible for you to place your mind in me steadily for a length of time, then may you desire to reach me through Abhyasa Yoga, the practice of yoga. Tatamam Aptum Ichar, may you desire to meditate upon me. Aptum means to gain, but in the context it should be taken as Dhyatum, to meditate. Finally, it is a gain, so translating Aptum as to gain is also correct. By meditation and gaining knowledge, may you desire to gain me. If you are not capable of even this practice, Abhyase api asamartaha asi, you can live a life of karma yoga. It is good enough. May you become one for whom karma done for me is the ultimate. Mat karma paramo bhava. It is the ultimate in the sense that it is the means that he commits himself to for the antakarna shuddhi required for jnana. Action for the sake of Ishvara means conformity with dharma. Does Ishvara need your karma like a master needs the services of his servant? The master gives the orders telling exactly what has to be done and the servant obliges in return for some payment. Both stand to gain from the transaction. Does the Lord also tell you to do specific things whereby he is going to accomplish something? Does he expect to benefit from your activity? If so, he is not Ishvara. Doing something for the sake of Ishvara cannot be for his benefit because Bhagavan by definition is Purna, complete. He has all that one could wish for in absolute measure, so it is not for his sake. Suppose you do it for your sake, then it is not karma yoga, you become a karmata. Doing karma for Ishvara's sake is doing it as an expression of your devotion to him. This is Ishvarartham karma. Further, Ishvara is in the form of dharma. Sanatana dharma is a name for the Vedic tradition. This is dharma which is unfolded by the Vedas, is eternal. Sanatanascha asau dharmaha. Here we view Ishvara as the upadana karana, recognizing that the very order in the world is Ishvara. Or we can say it is the dharma of the one who is eternal. Sanatanasya dharmaha. In this Ishvara becomes the nimitta karana. Conformity to his order is Ishvararpita karma. Either you think I perform this action for the sake of Ishvara, or in conformity to dharma I am worshipping Ishvara. Both are similar. Thirdly, you can cultivate certain attitude which comes from recognizing this karma is done by Ishvara, not by me. In that you deflate your ahankara and attribute the very karma to Ishvara. That is also madartham karma. Through his vibhuti alone, my legs are able to move, my tongue is able to talk, my mind is able to think, it is all Ishvara. My body, senses and mind are all instruments for Ishvara to play the symphony of life. One who appreciates this is also Matkarma Parama. Ishvara has Prakriti under his control, and that Prakriti which is my nature is not created by me, it is Ishvara. The creation and the creator being non-separate, Ishvara in the form of Prakriti does everything. Ishvara as the sun shines, Ishvara as the earth bears life and so too, Ishvara as the senses, body, mind and so on does various action. I perform no action.
I think we will stop here. We will start tomorrow.
This is more like Vishnu Sahasranama Viti Dam Kirtane Yasya Keshavasya Makarmana.
This even Swamiji will tell, I will send you this thing. In the sense, it looks like it has been, because now that the word, Ishvara, Tvam everything has been already discussed. Now, sort of summing up. Okay, you cannot live like this, you live like this. Whatever way you can live in conformity with Ishvara and all that, that will give you that Ishvara's grace for you to own up this understanding. So, for that, all possibilities for different people from different walks of life, what is possible? That is what is being summed up. The Vikalpa Yoga is called. But since people are already studied and understood the first 6 chapters and the next 6 chapters, what is it all about, they are not going to ask for any suboptimal solutions. They are going to say, find out what it, since they want in the last 6 chapters, that how this oneness between Sat and Tvam, is established in Shastra. That is what we'll be interested in. But as since it is meant for a universal application, he doesn't want to, the Shastra does not want to dishearten anybody. He says it's possible for you also. If you cannot do this, do this. If you cannot do this, do this. Or if you do worship, okay, do worship. You do your duties properly. Or if you can, what you call, you can do puja, japa, saguna brahma. Okay, have an altar, do puja, manasa puja. If you cannot do any big ritual, at least do manasa puja. Whatever way we can get aligned to Ishvara, everything is unto Ishvara, that will give you the yoga buddhi. That is what he says. Siddhim, the success here is antakarana, a prepared mind for this study, continue to this study and the meditation and owning up this understanding eventually. But the internal, what we have been talking about, the internal infrastructure should be ready. For that, whatever upaya, everything is upaya only. It is all only instrument. You are not achieving anything by doing karma yoga or what you call prasada buddhi and all that. The achievement is not in that. The achievement is having an internal infrastructure where you are able to stay with the teaching, meditate on this understanding, whatever I have. I must be able to reflect at the end of the day what I have studied. I must be able to sit and reflect. Even that is what Swamiji is. Shravana also can be meditation. Manana also can be meditation. The sitting and reflecting what you have studied through the day, that also can be meditation. Everything can be meditation. At the end of it, you are owning up what? Your own self, the being. That is meditation only. Ultimate dhyanam is owning yourself. So that is what we are aiming at. But we can do it in different ways, whether it is because of karma, yoga, doing our things, living a proper life and all that. That's what we are summing up in the 12th chapter. And again, by the time the 12th chapter is over, the summing up will go over. The 13th chapter will start about how to prepare yourself for what do you call it? Tattva Jnana Artha Darshanam. Again, complete understanding of this knowledge only is our focus. Once from 13th chapter onwards till the 18th chapter. We will see that.
Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.